Good afternoon, everyone. It is Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Mike and I are getting to sit down and eat. Finally, it's been kind of a lazy day for me, but it's 1:15 and we're just now breaking our fast. Actually, Mike just had a beef stick and some pork rinds when he walked in the door because he was hungry.
Yeah, that was about 12:30.
He went out and DoorDashed this morning and I did not. I stayed in bed.
Right.
And so it's been kind of a lazy day for me, but I am going to go out and work today for a while.
Yeah, we're both going to go back
I
out
missed
later.
a couple days this week because of helping with the grandbabies and the party, and so I'm gonna go out today. I did take my electrolyte tablet and my K2D3 tablet. There are electrolytes in my fat coffee that I have here.
None. I don't like the drops. I have found that the drops change the texture of the water, if that sounds like a thing. And it just bothers me.
I don't see that, and I don't taste it or get that at all, but for Mike. But once you start drinking stuff with, other than just water, I think you can probably add them.
Yeah, and I think it'll change it. But for plain water, I can notice a difference, and it just doesn't sit well. And I'll drink water all day long, but it's got to be without that drop.
So our afternoon meal is very basic. We each have 3 fried eggs and bacon.
Yep.
It's pretty simple. We'll be back with you guys later tonight, and we will talk to you during dinner. I have a roast in the crock pot. I did start that. Mike wanted to have roast one more time, and BBBE is over after tomorrow, so...
Right? No? Is it after tomorrow?
Or no, Tuesday. I'm sorry, today's Sunday. Yeah. BBBE is over after Tuesday. So I decided today was the one day I'd be home. I could get it started, and so we're going to have that for dinner, and we will talk with you guys about Dr. Barry's book later.
That's right.
Good evening, everyone. We're back.
You sound so enthusiastic.
I know.
Hi, everybody. We're back.
We just got done working. We both worked about 3.5 hours, and we kind of just want to eat and, sit down and watch some football. It's Sunday, so we're going to show you guys real quick what we're having for dinner. I made a roast. So we got the meat in there. I don't want to spill the juice, but we have egg life wraps. And before anybody comments, the noodles in here are made with egg life wraps. Someone commented the last time we made this and said, "You're doing beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. You can't eat noodles." And I was like...
We smart. Actually, noodles are good. Everybody would agree that noodles are good, but these are probably the best replacement.
Yeah.
For
I almost wonder
food.
what these would be like if we tried them with some Raos, made almost like a spaghetti.
Yeah.
I wondered, how they would be. Curiosity. If anybody's done that, let me know. If you've done anything else with the noodles, like actually made like a Italian dish or something with it. Oh yeah, I need some Redmond.
I don't normally need to season it because I just love the taste of roast, the natural taste and the flavor, but
I like that season.
That seasoned salt goes
salt,
with so much good stuff. It's just good. Makes everything better.
And it just brings out the flavor a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Is it good? Mike's not going to complain about roast.
I'm also not going to answer you when you ask me a question with a mouthful of food.
Every time.
Every time. It's delicioso.
It is nice coming home. It's been raining again today, and not hard, but just like drizzly outside.
But all day.
Yeah.
It was doing it this morning when I dashed this morning, and it's doing it this evening, and it's been doing it all day.
Yeah, so just is nice to come home and already have like a hot meal, almost like a stew or soup or something waiting for you.
I agree with that. Helps warm up the body.
So we're going to talk about our chapter in Dr. Barry's book. This chapter today was a little bit different.
This chapter today was cool. This was a cool chapter and it was fun.
So it's called Little White Lies, chapter 25. And all it is a whole bunch of different little lies that we've heard like over the years. And Dr. Barry is saying, that these are not true. There's a lot of them. So I'm going to start reading them, and if we're not going to talk about every single one.
No, but can we do this? So I know which ones you want to talk about because you've highlighted those, but can we at least read what each lie is so that people can...
Yeah, I'm going to read each one. I'm just not going to talk about each one.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
If we sat here and talked about each and every one of them, it would be a long video.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one is, and again, these are all lies. We use only 10% of our brains. Not true. We use our
Most
whole
of
brain.
us, anyway.
Yeah. Lie number 2. You should drink at least 8 glasses of water a day or more.
while I take a drink of my water.
Yeah.
Dr. Dawn here.
Well, we've talked about this in the keto space, so I did want to touch on it. But this lie came about from the Nutrition Council in the 1940s, and it's not true. They want you to get so much liquid every day, but that's the liquid that's in your food. That's any other liquids that you drink that contain water. It doesn't have to be just like 64 ounces of clear water. And again, Dr. Berry says your body is smart. Like, it's going to tell you when you're thirsty.
When I was growing up, my dad made that comment. You drink when you're thirsty. You don't have to fill yourself up with all that water. And I never have. I've never been a water drinker. Even during athletics in high school, I drank water, but not like some people. Some people just...
Well, and when you are on a weight loss journey, sometimes you might feel hungry. And I've heard this, and again, I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard it many times. Sometimes you're just thirsty. So before you eat something, you should drink a little bit of water just to see if that takes care of it.
Right.
For all I know, that's a little white lie. I don't know.
I do want to kind of say this too. I've had friends and coworkers who have been dehydrated. Now, this doesn't talk about dehydration, and I don't know what constitutes dehydration or what the quickest and most beneficial way to prevent dehydration is, other than drinking plenty of water. As far as a certain amount per day, because, I'm a small guy.
I think electrolytes help with dehydration, though.
Yeah, I'm a small guy, and there are people that would be taller than me and have just a higher requirement of fluids every day. So that stipulation of 8 glasses of water a day. Now, it doesn't say 8 8-ounce glasses. It just says 8 glasses, but we've been conditioned and told that it's 64.
Well, it says the council said 64 ounces.
Okay, so then it would be 8 8-ounce glasses.
Right.
Yeah.
The next lie is shaved or cut hair grows back thicker and darker.
All right, I want to touch on this one if you don't mind, because, we've all been told that lie. I have to shave a lot, and I hate to shave. And Dawn will tell you that my facial hair is as coarse as any sandpaper or steel wool that you could ever buy in a store. It's awful. It's awful. When I shave, I have to shave twice to get it close enough that you can actually just feel smoothness. So I always thought that was a true statement, and that's why my hair was so coarse. I don't know if I ever believed
it, but if I did, I'd actually contemplate shaving my head. Because if it meant my hair was going to come in darker and thicker.
Right. I know, right? Look, I'm going thin on top. Give me a razor. If that was the case, why doesn't it work on your head?
Right. The next lie is reading in dim light or watching TV too closely is bad for your eyes. The next one after that is eating turkey will make you drowsy. And I wanted to talk about this one because, haven't we all heard that?
Every Thanksgiving, even a certain comedian made a joke about you eat that turkey, then you take a nap.
Yeah, but the truth is that obviously turkey has tryptophan, but there's just as much tryptophan in chicken, beef, and other foods. What it is about Thanksgiving that probably actually makes you tired is that you're eating all the other carbs, sugars, and different things like that. So that's actually probably what's making you tired, not the tryptophan. But everybody always says that.
Well, and if you think about it, we've been talking about this for a while about, when you eat all the carbs and the sugars and all that, you have a burst of energy, so to speak, but then you crash and you feel sluggish and tired. And there you go.
Yep. Okay, next, don't let someone who suffered a head injury fall asleep, which I didn't really want to talk about, but you should obviously get that checked out.
Well, yeah, you should always get medical attention.
Right. Swallowed chewing gum stays in your stomach or intestines for years. You should wait an hour after eating before you swim. Fingernails and hair continue to grow after you die. Spicy foods cause reflux, ulcers, or other stomach problems. Now, I did want to talk about this one because he says that some foods do inflame your stomach and intestines, but it's not the spicy foods you should be worried about because
it's not the spice.
Right, because that does not affect your stomach or intestines, he's saying. Your stomach constantly deals with concentrated hydrochloric acid and laughs at these wrongly accused spices. There are times when I eat spicy stuff that, it will give me heartburn. Now, I will tell you, I still eat spicy stuff, and since I've been on beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, I haven't had any, or since I've been on keto, really, I haven't had any heartburn. So if it was the spicy food, why is it not still causing heartburn?
I would think that it's because, again, you're eating garbage that's spicy. That's what I would think. Because you just said it. You've been eating clean and on keto and eat spicy, and you haven't experienced it. You go to Taco Bell, right, and you eat Taco Bell, that's garbage. And then all of a sudden you got heartburn or you got acid reflux.
So he's basically saying the spices are getting blamed for it, but that's not really what's causing it. So.
And also, at least in my case, it's when you eat. So if you eat healthy, but if you eat at an earlier time like we're doing, I found that when I go to bed, I don't develop that.
Things aren't like working their way back up. Yeah. A woman can't get pregnant during her period. I don't think we have to worry about that. You lose most of your body heat through your head. Suicide attempts increase over the holiday season. Poinsettias are deadly. Eating at night makes you fat. So this is one that I wanted to kind of talk about. We have found personally that we sleep better. We don't get heartburn. There are advantages to us eating early and not eating late at night.
Right.
But Dr. Berry is basically saying that people who say if you eat late at night and then you go to bed that it turns to fat, that's not true.
He said it's not when you eat, but it's what you eat.
Right. Again, I think there are many advantages to eating early and not eating late and, then laying down and going to bed. Emergency room and labor and delivery visits increase during a full moon. He says a lot of nurses will say that's true, but there's no evidence to back that up. As a matter of fact, to the contrary, there's a lot of evidence that proves that it really doesn't. Coffee stunts the growth of children. Apparently, it's safe to give your toddlers coffee. Sugar intake makes kids hyper. So Dr. Berry says there's a long list of reasons why you shouldn't give your children too much sugar, but the fact that they will get hyper from it is not true.
Is not one of them, yeah.
Right.
Giving your kids sugar is really unnecessary altogether, but we do it. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because growing up, that's all you ever heard.
Right.
Sugar, even now with our granddaughters, we always hear in a joking manner, being a grandparent is so great. You have the grandkids, you sugar them up and send them back home to mom and dad. It really doesn't have that effect on them.
Right. And he even says, many parents, including himself, have thought that there's a correlation between sugar consumption and bad behavior. He says he also doesn't recommend giving sugar to kids at bedtime. I've heard people who have talked about cutting sugar out of their children's diet and how their behavior does change. They're giving them junk, carbs, all this. Abby, that spoke at Keto-Palooza, she was one of them that talked about, how her children acted out, and now that they're not on the sugar, they don't act that way anymore. So I'm not sure about other adverse reactions, but apparently it doesn't just make them hyper, is what he's saying. But again, there's people who are going to argue that because they've experienced it and seen the difference in kids when they're not taking sugar. So blood is blue until it's exposed to air.
That was an interesting read.
Yeah. I had heard that when I was younger.
I did too.
That's funny. Mm-hmm. Eating lots of carrots improves your night vision.
I mean, Bugs Bunny seems to think so.
You are born with all the neurons in your brain that you'll ever have. And I kind of just wanted to touch on this a little bit because, I don't know that I've personally ever heard that. But Dr. Berry is saying that, you're constantly forming new neurons and nerve cells in your brain. Research has now proven that grown humans make new brain cells all the time. And the reason this is good is because eating the proper human diet can help with your memory and it lowers your risk of dementia. So I just thought that was important to touch on. But there's still a lot of doctors who say that. So,
I've never really heard that either, but if you think about it, the human body replenishes its cells. I forget what it is. Skin cells are I think in a month, maybe. I can't remember exactly what it is. The body is continuously creating and forming new cells. So there's no reason to think, at least as a guy like myself, that your brain also does not create new cells. And
there has been a lot of research about how the brain can heal itself eating better foods, which is just great to hear. Mm-hmm. Ecstasy, meth, and some other drugs make holes in your brain.
Never heard that.
No.
I just know that it's not good.
Right.
It's just not good.
Don't do the drugs, even if it doesn't put holes in your brain.
Just say no.
Yeah. Brown sugar is better for you than white sugar.
Heard this one, and everything in this little description and paragraph about this I've heard too. So
yeah, brown bread, white bread have
brown
the same
rice,
brown rice.
white rice.
Yeah, they all have the same effect on your insulin.
Yeah,
it's just don't eat it.
Yeah, my own father even thinks and has said that brown sugar is better for you than white sugar.
Yeah. Stretching before exercising prevents injury. Now, I did not mark this one to talk about, but you've always been a proponent of stretching before any kind of physical activity.
He says right in here that coaches all around the world believe this, okay? And my coaches in high school did as well. I stretch even now if I go out to do any kind of
when we play volleyball or anything like that, he always stretches.
I stretch. Now, I'm not 18, and when I was a young kid, I could run around without stretching all the time. It didn't bother me at all. My muscles have gotten tighter, and it does feel good. I mean, when I stretch, my muscles feel better. And so whether or not it prevents injury, that I can't say, but it does make my legs feel better, and it makes me feel better just to keep them limber. So.
Right. Eating 6 small meals a day is ideal for managing diabetes or weight loss. And I think we've all talked about this, but eating small meals all day long does nothing but keep your insulin up.
Yep.
And in the presence of insulin, you cannot lose weight. So this is a big fat lie. He basically says this lie will actually lead to weight gain, not weight loss. And eating a diet with healthy fats produces a lasting sense of fullness, and you won't be hungry that often. Also, there's increasing research that shows intermittent fasting, eating fewer meals each day, might be a much better strategy for long-term, meaningful weight loss.
And I think we know that because we've experienced it.
Right.
So.
And intermittent fasting doesn't work for everybody, but you definitely shouldn't be snacking all day long. Eating more protein makes muscles grow. Is that the last one? Oh, that's the last one. So that's all the little white lies, and it was just kind of an interesting chapter.
It was nice to throw that in there because...
Oh, wait, no. I forgot one. Guys.
The page stuck together.
Cracking and popping your knuckles will lead to hand and finger arthritis. I do this all the time.
Yeah, you don't do it that often. I haven't heard you do that in a while. But
you don't like it.
I'm not a fan of it. It never used to bother me, but as I've gotten older, for whatever reason.
My fingers, and I also, usually if I do this, my wrists will crack too, so.
I don't crack my fingers, and only thing that ever really cracks is one of my ankles because
it pops
because I injured it, and I think that's why. But other than that, I don't. But she does that. Now, I don't remember you doing that for a long time, but
they feel stiff to me, and then when I crack them, it's like it loosens them up. So sometimes it just feels good.
I'm just waiting for her knuckles to get about this big around, and then we can all
If you're new to my channel, I owned a nail salon for many years. I did nails for over 20 years. Just that repetitive motion with my hands, I don't know what it is, but it just makes them really stiff, and I don't know, cracking them makes them feel better. It's good to know that I'm not doing more damage.
Right. I mean,
I may have arthritis just from doing that job for a long time. When I quit doing it, I had really bad tennis elbow, and since I'm not doing it anymore, and probably my diet has probably helped, but I don't have any pain in my elbow anymore. So
I just complain about that all the time.
Oh my gosh, it would hurt every day. Well, I would sit all day with my head like this, hunched over, and oh boy, would I get the headaches. So yeah, this diet and getting away from that job has helped me physically in more ways than one. That's it for tonight, guys. We're going to finish up eating and sit down and relax, watch some football. Obviously, I have to edit this video, so we will see you guys tomorrow.
Countdown. We got 2 more days. Monday, Tuesday. Obviously, Wednesday.
Tomorrow's the 30th, which is actually, technically, we're doing a 30-day challenge.
No, we're not. We're doing a January challenge. Okay. You said January.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Have a good evening.